You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Union 0430 episode 222. Yes, there is a new look. We're trying a new program, which is part of the reason why we didn't have a show last week, because Craig and I tried to record one. Craig kept telling me there was an echo. I said, no, you're crazy. There's not an echo. I don't hear an echo. When we went to edit it and put it out, then there was a crazy echo. So Craig was right. I was wrong as per normal. If you're watching on YouTube, Philly is back. It's been a while since we've had him on, but he's back. And this is totally out of the norm because it's a Saturday afternoon. No, a Friday afternoon. Good Friday. Good Friday. It's in the afternoon. I managed to get Craig and Phil to carve some time to sit down with me so we can get a show and record a show and have it out this Easter Monday. So thank you to our sponsors, Real Geese, First Light, and Ducklander Calls. Your help is appreciated, and we can't thank you enough. And, of course, the voice of the Union 0430 podcast, Captain Jeff Coates. All right, so hopefully nobody is hearing an echo. Hopefully everything goes good. So, Philly, you asked why am I changing things up and I got a new program and stuff. So Brian Hallbly, that does Migration Waterfowl podcast, he had told me about this. I've been on a show. Craig's been on the show. The software is supposed to be really, really good, and it makes life a little easier for me when it comes to editing and putting it out into the interweb. So that's why we're doing it. We'll see. We're already strike one because we had a bunch of echo last week and we weren't able to put out a show. But anyways, thanks for coming on, boys.
But I want to give an additional big shout out to Craig from Real Geese for making a generous donation to our Delta Waterfowl chapter for our dinner. It's coming up in a few weeks.
Oh, nice. That's right. You do have and this is going to be the first dinner for that chapter, right?
This is our inaugural dinner.
Oh,
and it's on my birthday, so there's no reason for everyone not to come.
It's what, like May 9th or something like that?
It is.
May 9th.
The big 4-5.
All right, if you're cool and you're around the Port Perry area.
Well, it's actually being held in, I guess it's more like Brooklyn.
Well, sure, but if you're in that Oshawa, Port Perry, Brooklyn, Durham area, come on by. I'm coming down. I'll be better behaved than I was at Wall for Hope. Oh boy.
It was a good time.
Did somebody exceed his fun limit? That was me last year, and I got my pee-pee spanked.
Well, so I just miscalculated, and it's just well to get into this story right now.
I thought I only had 3 beers. Turned out it was 13.
Oh, no. Hold on. So to our American listeners, THC is legal in Canada. And my wife and I drove up. It was Saturday, right, Craig? It was a Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
We drove up Saturday afternoon, got to the hotel. Craig and his wife were there. They had just showed up at the same time we did. Our friend Steve Segulik, his girlfriend Josh Reed, and his fiance, they were all there. They were already all drinking, all in the room. I had a couple glasses of whiskey, and I was like, man, this is going to be one of those nights where I'm going to be able to drink all night long and not get a buzz. So I went back to my room and I grabbed a THC drink and I drank that. And then I came back up to Steve's room and continued to drink whiskey. we get ready. We're going to get in the cab, in the Uber to go to the actual dinner. I'm like, I'm still not feeling anything. I should take some THC gummies just to make sure. So I pop 10 milligrams of THC gummies in, and I get in the cab. By the time I hit the dinner, I was paralyzed.
Which was just a few kilometers down the road from the hotel.
It was like
so not long.
5 kilometers. And I mean, fucking paralyzed. My eyes, I couldn't open. I couldn't stand up. I was done. And with that, I guess since last summer, I had put on a little bit of weight because the shirt that I brought to wear to the Wald for Hope dinner no longer fit me. And of course, I didn't do a fit test before I left home. So I'm sitting at the table, absolutely goobered with all of my shirt buttons ready to explode.
Just screaming.
Rocking the schmedium.
And yeah, and of course, everybody, all my friends at the table are snapping pictures of my shirt and me in my shirt and making fun of me the whole night. It was a mess.
To be fair, I didn't say anything, and but I came back to the table at one point, and I had left my phone on the table, and Josh was there. He's like, "Oh, whose phone is this?" He's like, "I realized your phone was an Android, so all I had to do was hit the button a couple times to get your camera." I'm like, "Oh shit." But I'd forgotten about that, and I think it was, I don't know if it was Sunday or Monday. I went into my phone to look at pictures, and I'd totally forgotten he had said that. And there's just 2 pictures of Damien. So Josh had taken a picture across the table when Damien wasn't looking. And it was just tight peach shirt.
Mm-hmm. I was, Philly, you know what, Philly? You would have appreciated it. You would have appreciated the mess I was in, because Craig doesn't get like that out in public, especially at a fancy event like that. Segulik doesn't. You do get like that on the odd chance. It doesn't happen all the time.
I've been known to reach the end of my fun limit.
Right? So you can appreciate the mess I was in.
Yes.
Now, God love my wife, because she was just shaking her head and she was like, "What did you take?" And I'm explaining to her what I took. Now, on top of that, I had left my phone in the Uber, so that was traveling around Peterborough for like 4 or 5 hours. And then the kind Uber driver brought it back to us. I had left my credit card at the bar with my tab. Brian McRae had to bring that to the hotel to me. I've been in some messes before.
Well, you're lucky you just found your way home. That was with assistance.
Well, I had Trish, so that's why I found my way home.
He was with a group.
And
he was taken care of.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But
it was great.
It was a great event. Brian raised a lot of money, and it was good. I didn't get to mingle about the room like I would have liked to have, and because I know there were some people there that I know online, through social media, but I've never ever had a chance to shake their hand or anything. So I wish I would have been in a better situation that I could have went over and talked to some of those people. And I think maybe they seen the state I was in, and they weren't about to come over and talk to me either. So
people were definitely,
they weren't able. So
people were aware of our table.
They would have talked at you, not to you.
Yeah, 100%. So the networking aspect of the dinner went out the door. That it didn't have. Everybody else got the network, but Damien. So.
I didn't find in general, it didn't seem like there was as much mingling anyways. It seemed like, I think there was a lot of newer people this year, a lot of faces I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
And I think it just seemed, other than our corner, it seemed a little more quiet than usual.
Yeah. Well, we're always a little bit louder, but I know it would have been fun if Phil and Dana would have been there too, but Philly couldn't show up this year due to prior commitments. But in the first year of Philly that we done this dinner, and Craig, you were there too. That was the first time I'd met Craig, actually.
Yep.
That first year we done the dinner, Philly, Me and you made out like bandits that year.
Buddy, I got right pissered that night. Right pissered. Like the fact
we all ended up in the pool that night.
I missed the pool part. But the fact that I found my way back, that godforsaken hotel that Brian lined up, buddy, there was like secret tunnels and passages all through that place.
It was weird to navigate.
There was no way. Like, whatever.
I don't remember that.
We were in Segulik's room. That was like because he had like the freaking executive suite. So like everyone was piled in there, and I remember like at the end, I faintly recall. There's no remembering. I faintly recall at the end of the night trying to get back to my room. I ended up outside twice.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I remember. I ended up in the parking lot. Well, that door doesn't take me there. Oh yeah. I come walking in.
Dana's like, I sent them down to get some towels. That was it.
And I was in a suit and tie for that dinner. And I come into the room, drop the suit, and then just boom, done.
Well, I had a buddy of mine who this was his first year that had showed up to the dinner, and he had said, you know, what are you wearing? I was like, oh, I'm going to just wear a button-down shirt and some jeans, right? And he was like, oh, I thought it would have been fancy. I said, well, it started out as fancy. I said the first year we went shirt and ties and suits.
It's gone downhill.
And after that first year, she's gone downhill.
I think it was at the
but now Craig and Kerry were probably the best dressed of the whole bunch that was there.
I'm going to say the maple fluff is what ruined it.
I forgot about that.
The maple fluff, I forget that.
It was like maple cotton candy that Phil was just demolishing.
Yeah, me and Topolinsky.
Oh,
was that first year or the second year?
That was the second.
Yeah, I just had tubs and tubs of that were devoured.
I actually tracked it. So yeah, like in the spirit of Wild for Hope, and Brian does like the green ribbon. Like everyone knows, like the different, like the cancer ribbon, the Save the Troops ribbons, whatnot. So Brian's, I believe the correct color is Kelly green.
Yeah, it looks Irish.
Yeah, so I actually tracked down a tie in that color and wore it to, and it was that dinner. It was the maple fluff dinner. I had the actual Kelly green tie for my suit. It was a very nice touch.
The suit just never fit the same after that.
And then I got drunk.
Philly, you weren't here last week when Craig and I tried to record the show, and you know what, Craig? Like it was a bit of nonsense that we talked about, but I thought it was a pretty good show. We had a couple little chuckles, and I was going to
say that's almost every episode.
Yeah, and
it was that sit around the camp kind of conversation. It just was a bit everywhere.
Crushing pints.
Before I get into this, so we don't watch a lot of cable TV anymore, right? Like we hardly ever. But the one show that we do watch is Survivor. And last night on Survivor, they're all sitting around their camp, and this is the question that was posed to the members of that tribe. If you had to pick an animal in the wild that you think you could take in a fight, what would it be? And the answers were astonishing. Philly, if you had to pick an animal that you could take, what would that animal be?
Now, like, this is like North America or like worldwide?
Let's keep it north. I don't know, man, because I don't think we have a wide range of shit in North America. So let's go worldwide. Pick whatever.
Keep it interesting.
Animal. Yeah.
Three-toed sloth.
They were exotic animals. What?
Damn.
What'd you say?
Three-toed sloth.
That was going to be my answer.
They're like half deaf, half blind. They move slower than the second time they break.
Yeah, but that I don't know. No, I'm not saying it. Actually, I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it because that would get me in trouble. A sloth.
You know what? I would give a speed goat a run for its money.
What?
A speed goat.
What the fuck? fuck is a speed goat?
Antelope.
I've never
Pronghorn.
heard of a speed goat.
Pronghorn.
What?
Pronghorn.
Oh, a pronghorn. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're called speed goats.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're the fastest land
Okay.
animal in North America.
You think you could take one of those?
I'd kick its ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only got two little itty bitty
Explain to me the tactic that you would use to take down said
Buddy,
speed
go for like
goat.
full Nelson on it.
Full right chokehold or something.
Oh hell yeah, bud.
I think that's going to be the common theme on any animal. I think that's the only way you could do it.
Just choke
It had to be a
damn thing out.
chokehold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Its only defense is to run really fast to get away from you. So I don't know that they developed any other good defense mechanisms.
Because they are the fastest land animal in North America.
Craig, what?
Penguin.
I don't know. It'd have to be something easy. Last fight I ever got into was in high school. And let me tell you, that kid that was half my size kicked the shit out of me. I don't know. Yeah, it would have to be something simple.
Penguin.
There we go.
Damien, I don't ever want to fucking hear you chirp me about going on tangents about turkey hunting. We're 16 minutes in. We haven't said a single goddamn thing about a duck. Just saying.
Okay.
I don't think we talked about ducks at all. Ducks or geese last one.
No,
either.
but we talked about. Okay, so all right, we'll stop it.
No. Hold on. You didn't give your answer yet.
Oh, I'm going hyena all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they have like the strongest jaws though?
They do.
Hold you.
I know, but I do think from my vast or my very limited experience with hyenas, and that's mostly from watching The Lion King 10 million times. I bet you if I had on a pair of steel toe boots, I could kick one of them in the jaw enough that again I would use the chokehold. I think I could take it out.
Gouge it in the eyes.
Oh, thumb in the eye! I'll stop anyone. I just and I stole that from one of the guys from Survivor because he had said hyena, and then I started thinking about it because they've got a pretty thick neck on them, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think you could do it. I think if you kicked them in the jaw hard enough, I think it could stun them enough that you could probably twist its neck or something like that.
Ridiculous. Now I think like Phil said, we can move on from that. But I didn't want you cheaping out and not giving your own answer.
Okay. No, Philly. One thing we talked about last week, and we had a fairly good discussion on it, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this yet, or I haven't heard it on social media yet, and I don't know if people are doing it within their own circle, and that is with the current geopolitical and the tariffs and everything that's happening right now. 104% tariff on anything coming into the United States from China right now. And listen, decoys, all that gear, like there's not a lot of stuff that's made in the USA. Real geese is made in USA, and you can get a smoking deal right now with them for silhouettes. If these tariffs and these price increases aren't sorted out here real soon, because all of the stores soon got to start placing their orders and picking up their orders and stuff, or orders coming in on sea containers, man, it's going to be expensive this year.
Well, I was going to add 3 dozen FA last pass mallards.
Yeah.
Like I've got 2 dozen of their flocked head EVA mallards, which are amazing. But I was going to add 3 dozen of their last pass, so like a slightly smaller, like almost like real size duck decoy. And those were going to be like my 3 dozen like beater decoys. I don't know if that's happening now.
I I don't know if all of the brands have set their prices yet. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I don't know if their gear has actually landed in continental USA yet.
We're gonna
And
look
I
at.
don't know if they've actually said, okay, we've got to increase everything by 30% or 40% or whatever it is. Or do they? There was one brand I seen the other day. They did say that they were going to try very, very hard this year, and I don't know who it was now,
I'm just
to
on.
not increase.
I'm just on the Final Approach website, like their Canadian website, and there hasn't been an increase as of yet.
Right.
Because
And I think that's
$75 for a dozen.
And I think that's probably because, and I could be totally wrong here, but I think that's probably because the shipment hasn't landed from China yet, right?
Well, this stuff's
Yeah,
already in Canada.
Yeah, if they're working off current stock. But even that, you don't know if companies could just jack up those prices too, right?
Oh yeah, more.
Well, I
And
don't
say,
know.
like, well, tariffs.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the waterfowl brands are quite as devilish as what the oil companies are. And there's a war in Ukraine. Better jack the price of gas up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think the brands are that bad. But I certainly hope that we don't see that big of an increase.
Like we already take it in the ass pretty good here, trying to get stuff up from the States and into Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
This is just gonna do it without lube.
So I said this to Craig the other night when we were talking, and tell me what your thoughts are on this. So I was talking to a friend of mine. Anyways, he's in the decoy world, right? And I had said to him, I was like, because we were talking about how all this tariff stuff is trying to kickstart production in the US, right? Like this is the reason why this is going on. And I said, I'm like, I would much rather if it was made in the US, to be honest with you. And he was like, but the price increase. I was like, but the price increase isn't going to be that much that it's going to, if it was made in the US. And here's my reason, and I could be totally wrong on this, but here's my reasoning behind it. If something is made 100% in the USA, then it falls under USMCA, so free trade. So it crosses our border and we don't have to pay duty on it. So would that alone, if we saved the duty, would that be enough to offset the cost of it being made in the USA? Vice China, and then the tariffs being added to it that's coming in from China.
The actual duty portion is not that bad. Like percentage wise, whenever you're like, duty is not that bad.
Right.
Your main issue, like, and obviously everyone knows here in Ontario, when you get stuff shipped from the States and they use UPS. Like, for example, I ordered some products from Heyday, Lifetime, whichever name you want to use. I got like one of their duck totes, one of their like cable gunslings, and a gun tree strap. So looking at my bill, because obviously I paid US, and then I look at what it's converted to Canadian, it was like $64.
Okay.
After conversion, whatever, and shipping. So $64 to get these 3 items shipped. I think they're at like what, Texas?
Yeah.
Up to Ontario?
Yep.
UPS wanted to hose me for $46. Okay. So I call UPS, blow a gasket. They're like, well, if you want to go pay the duty yourself, you're more than welcome to. Well, I'm like, well, how do I do that? They're like, you literally have to go to like a CBSA office.
Okay.
And then you can like go pay the stuff like at the customs desk. And then like they fill out a form and then you send it back to UPS and Bob's your uncle. So out of the $46 that UPS was going to charge me, you know what the duty was on like the $64 items?
No.
$8 fucking dollars.
How much? You froze up there, buddy. What'd you say?
$8.
Really?
Can you hear me now?
So it's all, you're just paying their administration fees and everything like that.
Duty was $8. It was $36 in this fee, that fee, handling fee. We just want to stick it in your ass fee. We're charging you a fee because we're charging you fees.
You know what? So I've often wondered. That's really, because I never went through that process like you. Good for you that you refused to give UPS that money.
Well, hold on. The story gets better.
Oh, okay.
So I figure out where's the closest closest like CBSA office, because like I'm not driving to Pearson.
Right.
So Oshawa Airport has a CBSA office. I'm like, jackpot. Screw you, UPS. I drive to Oshawa Airport. I find the CBSA office temporarily closed.
Oh, no way.
Of course it is.
Here's your $46. Oh, buddy. I was fucking like a child picking stones. Oh,
well, that's the thing. Like you don't know that there's that option, right? And then where do you got to find an office?
Yeah.
Like we used to have one in Barrie, just like the next intersection from my office.
Yeah.
But they closed that down. I don't even know. I don't think they relocated it or anything like that. Like I think that office was just gone.
I'm gonna lose my shit on these earbuds.
I know Trenton
my left
has
one. Won't stay in.
Oh,
duct tape.
Right.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just get a set of over-the-head headphones like I'm wearing?
And then, I need a
then
microphone.
You don't have to worry about what?
Then I need a microphone.
Oh, fair.
And then I need a better computer. And then I need a better like recording studio.
It's just
see how the snowballs
from there, right? Yeah.
Right?
That's sort of how my desire to get a set of cowboy boots. That's my fear. I want cowboy boots. Then I got to go buy a horse. Then I got to go get a. Then I got to get a revolver.
Next thing you know, you are the next Yellowstone.
Yeah, on County Road 4 in Odessa, Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but when you brought up about the duty, right? So First Light, who's the sponsor of the show, and we wear a lot of their gear. When you order from First Light, they take all that stuff is done at the checkout counter, right? So when UPS or FedEx or whoever it is that delivers,
FedEx,
you never get stuck with a bill. And I've often wondered, I'm like, why don't more brands do that and just calculate it out? Is it a big deal on the back end of the website?
Well, apparently, for some people, it is.
It must be, logistically on the back end of the website, it must be difficult to build that in.
No,
because
it's not. Put the label on the box and send it. I get all this I don't know how First Light does it, and by no means am I going to rock the boat and question it and whatever.
Yeah,
but guarantee it's probably on their end. It's a one-time thing and it's done.
Yeah,
they fill out some form, they get blessed, away they go. But for anyone that wants to order First Light, it's $35 shipping.
Yeah.
It comes from their warehouse in Utah, and the FedEx guy is not holding your parcel ransom with a debit machine.
Mm-hmm.
I've had stuff from First Light at my house from Utah to Ontario in 3 days.
Yeah.
They drop the box on my porch, walk away. $35 Canadian. Take it and go.
That's not bad for shipping of any kind here.
That is insane.
No.
I couldn't mail something from my house to Damien and it get there in 3 days. And we're a 2-hour drive from each other.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're 100%. And I think, as a Canadian brand, Punisher Waterfowl, I know of brands that are doing very well, so very similar to what I am, doing very well stateside. Now I get it. There's more population and there's more duck hunters, but that is not the whole story. They are doing better just on the fact that shipping doesn't cost a friggin' fortune for them to move something from one side of the country to the next. And meanwhile, up here, it is absolutely insane. So for me, I think Americans look at that imaginary line that separates us and go, oh, no, that's no land up there.
Yeah, that's the continental divide.
Dude, like it is horrible. Like
no bueno.
No bueno is right.
That's the other line.
No bueno.
Yeah.
Well, for somebody to go on and say like, hey, I'm going to buy a hat. And so, you're looking at like a $35 hat and it's $30 to get it.
Yeah.
It's like people all of a sudden it's like, well, delete that from the cart.
Absolutely. So hats, like if I don't, like I sell my hats, I'll usually always have a few kicking around with me in the truck and someone will come along and they're like, hey, can I buy a hat? Like my good friends back home in Newfoundland, like they buy hats, but they'll buy like 10 hats. Like there'll be like 4 or 5 of them will go in and buy like 10 because it's just not worth it. Like it literally, the shipping to get it there to them is just as much as what the hat is. It is absolutely redonkulous.
But part of the issue is being out on the island.
Well, that doesn't matter. Even if I wanted to send it to you, Philly.
No. So, like my in-laws are split, and my mother-in-law and her husband are on Vancouver Island.
Mm-hmm.
And price differences between getting stuff on the island and mainland BC are astronomically different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they got to put it on the goddamn boat and float it across.
BC is expensive enough as it is.
Yeah, damn hippies.
Like that. That's just it's pretty crazy out there too. And I don't want to make it sound like doom and gloom. And I don't know, right? Maybe all this tariff stuff will be all squared away and things will get back to normal. And
all it is just a big election dick waving contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. The politicians are making it this way, and it's the everyday consumer that's going to pay for it. Yeah. Politicians aren't going to pay for it. They don't give a fuck.
Well, and what Damien and I were talking about last week when we recorded was, the idea again is to kind of drive manufacturing back to Canada and to the U.S., and that's all well and good to promise that, but how quickly does that happen? Right? Like you're not just going to slap a tariff.
What's the point of all this, though?
Yeah.
Generate jobs in Canada.
That's what they say, anyways, right?
So here's the other downfall: is this like in the current state of affairs, there is piles of jobs available, piles of them.
Yeah, people
are too lazy to work.
Well, yes, they're too.
I can either go and bust my ass to make a dollar, or I can sit on my ass at home and the government pays me to stay there.
Yes, you're very right in that. But the other thing is, Philly, is that when the three of us were teenagers, when we were 14 and 15 years old, and your job consisted of sit on that 5-gallon bucket and peel potatoes for the restaurant, and we're going to pay you $5 an hour. That's a pretty good fucking gig. Huh? Just sit here and peel potatoes, and you're going to give me $5 an hour to do it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen today because everybody needs to make $40 an hour now.
Yeah, it's greed.
So if these manufacturing jobs, so let's not look at the auto workers, but let's look at just regular, person number 7 on the assembly line that takes that cotter pin and sticks it in the hole. You're not making $40 an hour to do that.
No,
that's a $5 an hour job.
Yeah, you're not a rocket appliance, like.
Yeah.
No, but still.
And I think and the other thing that we talked about, Craig, was the pollution that would come from all of this manufacturing. If it was in North America, in the United States.
That's not even a question. Canada produces like the hugest amount of oxygen in the world.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like the air pollution. That's not what I'm talking. What I'm talking about is the byproduct of all of the manufacturing, all those fucking chemicals. Where are they going?
Gotcha.
That's the pollution I'm thinking. It's not the air, because we're not in
You're thinking more
Timbuktu or nothing
soil and
like
water
that.
contamination.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Just as a whole too, right? Like, again, we don't have the capacity, we don't have the infrastructure ready for it to say like, hey, we're going to slap a tariff on the stuff coming from whatever country so that it'll be an incentive for people to manufacture here. It's like, we don't have those facilities. So you got to build those. So it's like, there's a lot of time associated with that. And then any again, pollution, stuff like that, whatever that goes along with that. And then like, even like I look at places like Barrie, right? Like they'll start, and some of the areas in the GTA, they start pumping up all these condos because it's like, hey, we can put more people in, but the road infrastructure can't handle it.
Yeah.
The sewer systems can't handle it. Healthcare can't handle it.
Well,
so it's like, it's just this quick, easy answer of let's slap a tariff on, we'll create more jobs here, we'll create more manufacturing. But how? You got all these other things you have to consider, right?
Yeah.
That goes into that, and that doesn't happen overnight.
Well, that's part of the reason why I live in Port Perry is the infrastructure can't handle growth.
It's like where I am. It's like we're surrounded by Georgian Bay and Highway 12. The town can't get bigger. There's nowhere to put anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just.
Well, what I find funny, you look at the three of us. We all live in small towns, and mine's the biggest out of the three of us at 10,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I asked Craig this question the other day, and I'll put it to you, Phil. Like, to build a factory. So let's just say a factory that would produce
metal
plastic,
stamping.
Anything. Yeah. How long do you think it would take to build a factory of that magnitude? Like, I'm saying 7-8 years.
Oh no,
easy.
No,
you don't think so?
Like 2-3.
Really?
Yeah.
That quick?
I'd say so. Yeah. Like I look at, because we've got a lot of things going on around here, like in Durham.
Yeah, but I'm talking.
We've got a bunch
talking
of
break the ground. The ground, and production is running 2-3 years.
That's what I'm saying. We've had a bunch of new like warehouses and like these big factories and stuff popping up here throughout Durham. Like we've got a new Amazon warehouse. Yeah, like it's almost like Whitby Oshawa border, so to speak. Okay. Like it popped up in a few years. Really? There's another big mega one down near like it's on the north side of the 401 between like Lake Ridge and Salem. So like Ajax Whitby border. Okay. Like it's one of these places that's got like 100 or 120 bays for transport trucks. Okay. Like the building itself is a few acres. Yeah, he popped up.
There's one like that in Vaughan. It's massive.
Yeah.
Well, so just down the road from
it's literally a slab of concrete, bunch of I-beams, and then aluminum siding.
So down the road from me, they started one of those EV battery plants, right? And the start to finish on that was like 6 years. Like before, like when they broke ground to when they were putting stuff out the door was going to be 6 years. And next to that, a company from the States actually came, and they opened up a factory that made in-ground pools. So like just the liner.
Drop in.
Do you know
liner,
what I mean? Yeah, you just drop it into the ground.
Yeah, they literally take a sheet of fiberglass and put it through a gigantic mold.
That's right. So, and I would think that's a fairly simple factory to make. That one was like 2 years, 3 years from the time they broke ground to when it was up and operational. So, yeah.
There'd be a lot of factors though too, right? Like what it's being used for, permitting that goes with that, environmental assessments, like popping up those huge warehouses, because they've been coming up to 400 and stuff as well. Yeah, they seem to go up pretty quick, but it's warehouse versus something where if they're processing or machining stuff, could be a lot more to it. And every township's going to be different.
A concrete slab with 4 walls and a roof yeah, that could get slammed up fairly quick, I would think. But and at the end of the day, I think, just to reel us back in here, at the end of the day, all this talk about, while it's nice to say and it sounds like a great idea, but you just can't flick the switch and turn manufacturing on in North America with the flick of a switch. I just don't think that it's possible to do it.
Well,
like, we're not saying that it shouldn't be done. We shouldn't have these cool jobs and manufacturing here, but it just doesn't happen.
Well, the biggest issue, I think, is there's just too many hands in the pot and a lot of people jumping in. How can I get my hand into this?
Well, yeah,
I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, and well, that's just human nature, and that's always going to be the way. There's always going to be someone trying to figure out a way to make it. Well, look at us. We're trying to figure out a way to make money off people listening to us ramble on about bullshit. Like that's just the way it is, right?
No, I'm just here because I like drinking beer and enjoy your company.
Well, strictly here for the notoriety.
Manage your expectations. I don't know, man. It's just the world seems. I just want to hunt birds. I just want to shoot birds. I don't want to pay a fortune for my gear. I don't mind paying fair price. I just don't want to pay any more than I got to. And that's ultimately we ended up going down some wormholes there and dragging it on longer than maybe what we needed to. But at the end of the day,
I was on the Sunday after Wild for Hope when we were in Peterborough. We were right across from the Canadian Tire, so we had to go in and get a few things for the kids. And they had a pretty good sporting section in that. So I went and looked. They had a huge display of shotgun shells, rifle cartridges, and stuff. And so I was looking through because I need to get some more 20 gauge stuff for Caleb. And they didn't have any 20 gauge. It was all 12 gauge, but like a huge selection. Yep. Holy shit, man. Like the cheap stuff was $40, $50 a box for waterfowl loads. So like luckily I've got quite a bit ready to go, but like as the seasons go, we'll see how people are managing even just buying ammo.
I've got a pile of 20 gauge here that you can buy off me, and I'll give it to you for cheap. Because I have left that conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, you don't know what you're doing.
So I do know what I'm doing. Actually, yes, I'm quite confident I know what I'm doing because I couldn't hit shit with that 20 gauge that I had.
It's not for everyone.
Well, and I shouldn't say, and maybe it's not for everyone is not the right term. That gun wasn't right for me. It wasn't. You know what I mean?
I know this guy. His name's Matt. He knows all about gun fitting. You should have a chat with him.
Yeah, I should have had a chat with him. Actually, I am trying real hard to get him and Bill Kennedy to come here and do a show one day. Yeah. And just the two of them know so much about a lot of stuff. So I just thought it'd be cool to have them on. So that's a.
It was actually a pleasure of getting to meet Matt Pomeroy in person at the Toronto Sportsman Show.
Mm-hmm.
Which ironically is related to my kid's hockey coach.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, they're cousins. Like they are like, never mind cousins. They might as well be twin brothers, so to speak. Yeah.
And I know Craig and him had talked too before the Toronto Sportsman Show because they were going to get up and do a little gun fitting seminar, but we couldn't pull it all together with Matt's schedule and all that shit. So
well, then I was there when he came over and was talking, kind of chatting with him just because everybody was there, and I didn't realize till afterwards who he was. So I never actually met him.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right, so looking at the clock, we're about 15 minutes away. So let's do it, Philly. Bring it on. Turkey talk.
What are those?
Yeah.
Openers next Friday. Openers next Friday. I finished day shift on the Thursday, and then I got to be. Actually, hold on. I don't start working until 6. Oh, I might actually go out for opener.
There you go.
I legit I'm so for those that don't know, which is pretty much everyone. I got a little firewood business on the side that I do, and for 3 months I didn't touch a chainsaw because of all the snow we had. It just wasn't feasible. I was waist deep in snow, and I'm like, screw it, just take this as a wash. So now that like the snow is all gone, like these past, what day is it? We're at the 18th now. So say for the past
yep.
four-ish weeks, like all my days off are spent at my in-laws' farm running saws or a log splitter. And like,
did you have are you doing a lot of cleanup from the ice storm? Did that hit you guys or no?
nah,
No,
it wasn't bad at all.
Peterborough was fucked.
Like certain areas are like certain areas are like decimated, but like around here it was still mediocre. But like, because my big thing with the firewood is our trailer park where we have a seasonal trailer. It's not my permanent residence. Don't be. just so we don't confuse the two.
No, not judging.
It's a recreational.
We'll answer a few questions I had.
Recreational trailer. Anyways, they're like my hugest thing. Like
your big customers.
Oh yeah, like last year when the park opened, I sold 44 face cords in 10 days.
Jeez.
That is a piss ton of firewood. So like I'm so far behind on production. So like I had turkey. I haven't even thought about it. And like I wanted to get like a pile of like turkey content and this and that, and I got some other photo obligations now this year and factor other things in, and I'm like, I don't know when's that's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally gonna have to go out and just sacrifice 2 days and do full day hunts and just like mock a bunch of content, and here we go.
Just hope for the best.
Pretty much, buddy. Pretty much. Like I've done zero scouting. Mind you, I never scout for turkeys. The two properties I mainly hunt, there's always piles of them. Like you can set your watch to them. I don't even waste the gas scouting.
Yeah.
It's like, how many toms is there going to be this year? 4, 5, or 6?
Yeah. Well, last week we were talking about how, we think they're still, we were wondering if they were starting to pair up yet. But Craig, and I'll tell you, the other night I went for a walk with the dogs, and just across the road there was a big group. So they're still all gathered up.
This past week I've seen them starting like they're smaller groups. But yeah, when we were talking last week, like I was still seeing big groups. Caleb and I went out scouting the other night. Because like when I'm driving for work, I see a lot of birds typically, and I've still mostly seen them in big groups. But when we were scouting the other night, saw one big group, but I saw a lot of lone birds, and it was an evening scout. Really? But there was a lot of lone birds walking around. And whose dog is that?
Right.
Keep talking.
But and then we found one field. It was the same field. I think we talked about it before, and I know I posted about it where I was scouting for geese last fall. And I found one field where there was a flock of geese, one wood duck walking through it, 3 deer and 5 moose all in this one field at one time. And so I found a tom and 2 hens walking through that the other night just before they were probably heading off to roost. But like the hens were just kind of walking out front, doing their thing. The tom's just behind them, strutting. At one point I was looking at him through the binoculars and it looked like he turned directly at me, puffed up, and then turned and went the other way.
Well, it was funny. It would have been a week ago today, I think. I go to my in-laws' farm to go work on my firewood. So where I have my log pile is kind of like at the front of the farm because it's just as far as a transport truck can get in, just because of trees and barns, whatever. So all my log piles at the front of the farm, and then all my wood is stacked in racks out at the back of the farm, like way out in the wide open. And that's where I've got two trailers now. So I go back to hook up my one trailer to bring it to the front so I can do splitting and then take the wood to the back. Well, I get to the back of the farm, and I bumped minimum 24 turkeys.
Oh, really?
And there was
they're still in big groups.
Well, dude, there was like a blizzard that morning, and there's a tom shaking his moneymaker.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, God bless you, buddy. You just give her. But it was snowing sideways. Like the absolute like bare grass. Like our snow is gone. But like we had full like snow sideways, and there's this idiot just boom doing it. I'm like, God bless you. You have a heart of gold. Even I don't need it that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like I know,
and I counted minimum half dozen toms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There seems to be a lot of Jakes and Toms out there this year.
No,
because I saw throughout the winter.
This wasn't Jakes. These were Toms.
Yeah.
Pile of them.
I was saying to Damien last week, like on Facebook, like all through the winter, people were making a lot of comments and questioning what the winter was going to be like on the birds, and if we'd see less this spring. Because we had a ton of snow, and so I was saying to Damien last week, like the groups, I seem to see bigger winter groups this year, and so I don't know if that just meant more birds, or the other thing I was thinking is like it could be they were congregating more,
less groups, bigger flocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but so it's hard to tell, but like it didn't seem like there's any less birds, and like even now scouting, still seeing lots of birds.
Well,
but then the next thing will be, it's like, what does nesting look like with these temperatures kind of still being cold?
Well, at my in-laws' farm, whatever birds that they have on the property, because there is a roosting site on their farm. Like it's a horse farm. There's literally 55 acres of grass and a 5-acre woodlot, and they roost in that. But they quite commonly, like, they have like a home resident flock. But it seems like just kind of their certain area is a big wintering ground for, I guess, like a lot of like the other flocks.
Yeah.
So like it's not uncommon to like be at the farm in the dead of winter and like you'll see 40 or 50. Like it's a regular occurrence. And then come, May, June, my father-in-law will see 15 to 20 all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then, and I stepped away there, so I don't know if you really came out and said it, Phil, but so turkey hunting is 100% on the back burner right now for you?
95%.
Yeah. Craig?
I'll get out. I will. I will kill a bird this year.
Yeah.
At the very least. Because I need something to take pictures of. But I just don't know. Like, I'll get out opening day now that I realize that I don't have to work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on opening day, and I won't start until 6 p.m. I will be out opening morning.
Yeah, shit, you can be out, have a bird, have it cleaned, and still have a nap.
Still go home, sleep for 2-3 hours, be into work for a 12-hour night shift.
Wow. What about you, Craig? Have you and Caleb, have you guys found your bird yet?
Yeah, so like we've got the one little farm that I always hunt. That always has birds in it. They never roost on the property, but it's a small property and they'll pass through. So like they'll either roost across the road or roost behind that guy's property. So like they move through every day. Yeah. It's just a matter of when. So that's always a good go-to. The field across the road from there, there's a woodlot and a field, and it's public land. So that's the other spot I tend to hunt. And there's one field I got access for geese the last 2 seasons, so I still trying to catch that guy at home to see if I can hunt there for turkeys.
Oh, okay.
I've only ever seen the odd turkey across the road from him, but like we've already got some good options this year. Okay. And one of the guys that gave me access to his fields last season for geese, I just messaged him because I found a big flock when we were out scouting the other night. So I texted him because I know he has a bunch of permissions out there. So I messaged him to see if he has anybody else turkey hunting. And he said he didn't think so, but he said, give him a couple days because he was just flying out somewhere. So he's like, give me a couple days. I'll confirm for you. So yeah, we've got some options. Caleb's eager. And we were talking last time that Caleb did the
turkey day with Lorianne.
Yeah, the turkey day through Lorianne and Canadian Sportswomen's Society because it was co-ed this year. So he got to shoot at that. He did really well just with his bead on his gun. So shooting's ready to go. He actually came out scouting, slept through most of it, but he's eager. So, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get out opening day, but I am. So I'm going to pull him from school. It'll be his first time skipping school to go hunting.
He'll learn more with you on that on Friday than he would in school, anyways.
Yeah,
100%.
Let's face it.
I just got to make sure I got propane for the buddy heater.
Yeah, I'm not advocating take your kid out of school forever and throw him in a duck blind or anything like that, but
I am.
It doesn't hurt once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah, they can learn some good lessons.
Well, that brings up a good point that now that we've added some new hunters to our house, I had a chat with the young lad the other day, my stepson, and hey, you want to maybe run a chance
I gotta stop
popping a turkey this year? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you understand you'll have to get out of bed before 10 a.m., right?
Yeah. I got to stop you. So before we go to the Toronto Sport, I don't know if you knew this, Craig. Before we went to the Toronto Sportsman Show, Phil's wife, Dana, messaged me and said, hey, Owen wants to buy this ban idiots not guns t-shirt. Don't sell it to him. I was like, okay. She was like, don't sell it to him. I'm going to get it for him. Don't sell it to him. I'm like, okay, gotcha. We go to the show. Phil brings Owen. Owen says, I want to buy that shirt. I'm not there. Phil's like, you got the money. Go for it.
Oh, Phil didn't know.
Phil didn't know.
I just thought he just wasn't allowed to get it. I'm like, I don't care. We're having it's myself and my 2 kids at the Sportsman Show. We're having man time. It's no holds barred.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If there was a Hooters, we would have gone there for lunch.
Yeah, he was proud as a peacock because he bought that T-shirt himself, right? Like he put his money that he had saved up, and it was his money fold that he took it out of and bought the T-shirt. So he was happy as a pig and shit, right? And then meanwhile, Phil goes home again, gets chewed out.
I got spoken to. That's a common occurrence when I'm at work. I get spoken to. You're not allowed to say that to the public, but they deserve it. We get that, but
It is
what it is. Cost of business. It's the price of getting rad.
It is. Fellas, we're coming up onto an hour here now, and
we've
I know
accomplished fuck all with our life, and it was a good show.
Well, so you've got plans this evening because you've got stuff going on tonight. Craig's got guests coming over. I have nothing on the go other than we're going to do my daughter's home just for a break in between her finals, so she's just home for a couple of days. So we're going to watch a movie.
Well, speaking of the neighbors, here's a quick funny story. So as we were chatting earlier, I'm like, I need to go grab some beer. So we have this like little local grocery store up the road here, and my neighbor's 17-year-old daughter works there now. And God bless her, she's like, I call her the daughter I never wanted. Like we've got an amazing relationship. She's an absolute blast. Like she takes no shit from me whatsoever and gives just as much back. God bless her. So I'm like, well, you know what? And she just started working there. Within like the last week or 2, maybe 3 weeks at the absolute most. So I'm like, and this is the place I normally like run and go grab like my craft beers and stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to go in and I'm going to see her and just say hi. So she's working at the counter. And I'm like chatting this and that. She's like, oh, are you coming over later for cake? I'm like, cake? I'm like, what do you mean cake? She's like, today's my birthday. I'm like, I totally forgot. I knew it was. I just totally forgot. I'm like, oh, damn it. I'm like, oh, well, happy birthday. I'm like, I totally forgot. I'm like, what are you doing working on your birthday? She's like, well, I need money. I'm like, hey, do any of your coworkers here know that it's your birthday? And she's like, well, some. And she's like, no. I'm like, hey, y'all know it's her birthday? And I walked away. I'm like, I'm like literally halfway down the store. I can hear the entire deli section, like the meat counter, singing at the top of their lungs, "Happy birthday" to her. I'm gonna hear about it later.
One of the joys of becoming an older male is embarrassing young females.
Kids in general. Yeah. And then like we've got a group chat between myself, my wife, and then our neighbors. And I went on. I'm like, I was just at the store and I saw Ellie, and I told everyone at the meat counter that it was his birthday. And I'm like, all I could hear was the girls screaming in the background, singing "Happy Birthday" as I walked away.
Walked away as her face got redder, probably.
Oh yeah. Second she's like, second she said that, and I'm like, oh, they don't know. And she's just, it was like that quarter second. Oh crap! Instant
Too
regret.
Late. Well done.
I win.
Quick round table, Philly. You first, my man.
Yeah, that was 2 hockey socks today. I wouldn't say just one.
Yeah,
but definitely, it's just sheer dumb time. Like the past month, I've missed a pile of episodes, and it sucks. But it's great to be back on. I got some vacation coming up here in the next few weeks. Like I'm off for a good chunk of May, I think. I should hopefully make some consistent guest appearances for a period of time there. So yeah, looking forward to Turkey again. I'll get out. I just don't know when or how many days, but like I ain't going to be grinding the piss out of it like I have in the past, unfortunately, as much as I absolutely love my turkey. But it is what it is. Life happens. But anyone else that's heading out to the woods next week, well, okay, so it's Monday. Anyone that's heading out into the woods this Friday, I need to factor that delay in here.
Yeah.
Anyone that's heading out this Friday, wish you all the best, and I see some pictures of some big knuckle dragon tops. So
there you go. Awesome. Craig?
Yeah, looking forward to this week. I gotta go finish. Oh no, we got an echo again.
Yeah, I just heard it, and it just picked like for no reason.
Then I'll just say good night then. So we don't have any issues.
And now it's gone. Weird. Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys have an echo for a second?
What?
Did you guys have an echo
You're
for a second?
breaking up. Yeah, just for a second, yeah.
Yeah, it's because I unplugged my headphones. I guarantee that's what it was.
Oh,
okay. That's what it was.
Amateur move.
Philly'd fuck up the church.
One job.
One job. Ladies and gentlemen, this was episode 222 of the Union 0430 podcast. We are not experts, nor will we ever pretend to be. Just some friends that love talking duck hunting and apparently politics, turkey, what animal you could fight. Like Phil said, 2 hockey socks full. Big love. Surround yourself with good people. See you next time.